Being present, folks, doesn't mean being included. That sentence matters in our schools, and it matters just as much in our churches. Because many people with autism and people with disabilities are present. They attend class, they attend church, they sit in the room week after week, and yet they often remain on the margin. In education, we sometimes believe inclusion means placing a student in a classroom. In church, we sometimes believe inclusion means opening the doors and saying everyone is welcome. But presence alone is not belonging. Let me say that again. Presence alone is not belonging. You can be in the room and still feel unseen. You can be part of the crowd and still feel very alone. True inclusion, whether in a classroom or a church, is not passive. It is intentional. There's a difference between saying you can be here and saying we see you, we value you, and we will make space for you. For people with autism, inclusion isn't about forcing them to fit our systems. It's not about expecting them to learn, to worship, or to socialize the same way everyone else does. In school, it means adjusting, teaching, not just behavior. In church, it also means adjusting expectation, not just programs. It means recognizing sensory needs, honoring different ways of communicating, of thinking, allowing people to engage at their own pace. Too often, people with disabilities are present but not involved. They are supported but not listened to, prayed for but not invited into the community. And over time, that sends a painful message. It means you are allowed to be here, but you are not really part of us. Inclusion costs something. It costs time, it costs flexibility, and it costs our comfort. But that cost is small compared to the cost of exclusion, which is loneliness, discouragement, and quiet spiritual harm. In both education and church, inclusion asks us to move from programs to relationships, from efficiency to empathy. That's where we should move. From sameness to love. Because inclusion is not about fixing people, it's about honoring them. It's not about lowering anyone. It's not about lowering expectations. It's about widening the table. When people with autism and people with disabilities are truly included, they are not just recipients of care, they become contributors, teachers, and reflections of God's creativity. So maybe the question for our schools and our churches isn't, are you present? Are they present? No. Maybe the real question is, do they feel seen? Do they feel safe? Are they valued? Because being present doesn't mean being included, and inclusion doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we choose patience over convenience, when we choose humanity over habit, and when we choose love over comfort. And when we do that, our classrooms become richer, our churches become authentic, and our communities begin to look a little more like the kingdom of God. If you really enjoy this kind of video, you're definitely going to love these other two.